what a week of momentum it's been for FSU now that they're in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I've expected this to come eventually. As I told people, I'm kind of keeping a list of, and I'll update tonight. I haven't updated yet, but just the ones that visited officially in June. That a lot of FSU's landed 7 in the month of July. I think there'll be likely more. I think it's a great run. It's a great push, and this is kind of what we saw last year, where they made their push. They pushed in there, wait till the end of the summer, bam, jump on it, and then you have the LSU big game. I think that's kind of orchestrated the way they wanted to do it, and certainly they have a lot of momentum. And man, could they really see some serious major momentum with these 2 big ones coming up in KJ Bolden and Charles Lester.
Yep. People want definitive statements, Michael. I know that this recruiting is a long process, but Kelly, with the first question, this was before the show even started. I
Okay.
tweeted out, if you got recruiting questions for us, let us know. And Kelly jumped right in and says, do we close the deal with KJ? How do you feel about Florida State as it relates to KJ Bolden?
Mark, even I saw Mark's comment on there. Is the Bolden momentum real? It is real. I would have probably laughed at it if I saw it 2 or 3 weeks ago, or even a month ago. But I do think it's real. I do think it's significant that I got enough from people that would know. Chad Simmons is also very dialed in to everything when it comes to national stuff, especially kids from the state of Georgia, and he even acknowledged, like, look, this is real. So there is real momentum. Now they have to finish the job, but I think the momentum is certainly with FSU the most I would hear out of any school. So I think, and people ask the next questions like, why, what happened, and I would say mainly the last 2 visits he took one in the spring, then took another one in the summer. So the one in the summer was kind of surprised. We didn't know he was just going to pop in there, and he popped in there. And I think what resonates with him was looking for a reason of why FSU. Why give him a reason why to come to FSU. We know that's his dream school, but I think what resonated with him was what they've done with Jamie Robinson at safety position, what this program is ascending to, where they're going, the roster and how the roster looks now. They look like a top 5, top 10 program, and that's resonating with him. And two, just the feeling he gets when he's there. It's a different, unique feeling compared to a lot of different places. And I think the momentum is certainly real. Now, like I said, they still have to finish it, and but right now the momentum is the strongest it's been, I would say, for KJ Bolden.
Is it overly simplified, Michael, to say that it's because of Coach Samuel, Coach Surtain at Florida State, now defensive backs coach Patrick Surtain? Is it oversimplified to say it's simply because he's there and his connections Florida State is making inroads, or how would you answer that question?
I would say it's a combination of him and Adam Fuller. Adam's kind of the ugly duckling of the staff because he gets all the beating when things aren't good. But Adam's done a phenomenal job with I think KJ, and two, I think having a guy like Patrick Surtain is major because that's a guy that's top of the line when it comes to development. He does an incredible job. I think that's taken them to another level of knowing somebody that's going to develop you. When you get there, not just one coach, but multiple coaches. And I think that's both those guys have certainly made a strong push and putting FSU in this position to possibly, you know, God willing, for their sake, pull it off.
Yeah. Tom Kirkpatrick wants to know. He's on Facebook asking a question. Usually the ratio is like 95 to 5, YouTube to Facebook. But Tom, we see you there. Do you think JoJo sticks with his Miami commitment? That would be JoJo Trader. What do you think, Michael?
I'm skeptical. He does. I think the season's going to matter to him. I think he's got a lot of schools that want him. Ohio State, we know we're pushing for him. We know FSU. I've said that for a long time, that FSU, and he hasn't really taken any official visits. So for me to be skeptical is just kind of stating the obvious, like, hey, the grass is green on your lawn. Because, I mean, he hasn't taken any official visits. He's going to take one more than likely to FSU. I think probably, late in, around the October thing where he wants to see a good, exciting kind of atmosphere and just experience all that stuff. But I think there was a lot of pressure too when he originally committed to Miami. I'm sure they put the pressure on, like, hey, stay home, play for your city, and I'm sure that was in there. But I'm skeptical that it sticks for sure. I think I'm skeptical that it does. So I think this one's a long ways from being just ironclad and ink to paper and done deal. I think FSU is definitely going to keep pushing. I think other schools are going to keep pushing. So I think and if Miami goes out there and looks like Miami did last year, it's going to be very difficult for them to hold on to him.
Stating the obvious, like there's less room in Miami's IPF to get work done. There's just less space to conduct drills and do all that kind of stuff. Cameron wants to know, Michael, what do you think about recruiting for the offensive line and defensive line? I know we've done this, and you could go to Warchant TV and find the videos of the commitments from last week. Florida State landed 2 of them on the offensive line. Michael had thoughts on it. But for the Smash audience presented by State Farm agent Russ Forhis, what do you think?
I love what they're doing on the offensive line. I have no complaints. Both of the guys they landed, and Ty Hilton and Jonathan Daniels, were both coveted guys. I've told people this many times. It's not a great 2024 class out there overall. So I think these were the 2 guys that they circled, and they landed both of the guys they circled. I think outside of those 2, they weren't really thrilled with I guess the other ones in there, and I think they're excited about 2025, and they feel like they can load up on 2025. They already lead for 3 or 4 of those guys on there. Peyton Joseph, a 4-star inside offensive lineman. Max Buchanan's another inside guy that I think they lead for. And then also they lead for Zaire Addison, who's a 4-star offensive tackle. So I think they position themselves so well at 2025 that you don't want to overload each class of what you got, because they already have some nice, talented young guys in there. Jalen Early, Armello, uh, Richardson. There's a lot of guys that they feel really good about, that you don't want to combine too many guys where it feels like, hey, we're not giving you a chance for development. So I think they've added the right pieces of what they need. Hilton can play center, he can play tackle. Daniels can play tackle or guard. You got a lot of versatility there. So I think they've done a great job there. Defensive line recruiting, I think defensive end, they done fine. They got D.D. Holmes. That's certainly a great start. I think Booker Pickens is another one that's high on the radar, also, as well as L.J. McCray. Both of those guys likely going to be fall decisions. But defensive tackle recruiting is just no other way to put it. It's not good. It doesn't look good. It feels like they're probably going to have to go in the portal to get what they want. Now they do have a loaded group of what they already have,
Yeah.
but I think right now there's certainly a lot of work to do for the defensive tackle recruiting and linebacker recruiting. I'm probably going to do a story on kind of the needs left of what FSU can finish off with 2024 class. But I think outside of that, I think defensive end, you're in good position because you want to add one more. And then I think offensive line, I think they're finished. They've got what they want. But yeah, that defensive tackle recruiting certainly needs a boost.
So I'll tack on from Cool Ranch. Is there any talented linebacker in Florida that's interested in Florida State? You just briefly touched on it, but expound a little bit, Michael.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's some talented guys that they're evaluating, but I think they want to see during the season. I'm not going to sit there and list off, one by one. I'm going to wait until I start to sense some interest from FSU. I will say at linebacker they do have Jaden Parrish. I'm very high on him. He's out of Atlantic. He's in South Florida. I think that kid's vastly underrated. A 3-star that certainly I'm very high on. I've loved his film. Heat-seeking missile, the way he attacks the ball, really good fit for what they're going to do and what they do on their defense. So I think he fits kind of that set of what they have with guys like Bethune and Deloach and Omar Graham and Nicholson and all those guys that they have already currently there. I think adding him is certainly going to help. You still need more. I think 1 or 2 more. So that might be another one where now I feel a little more comfortable with that, because I think there's still guys that I'm hearing that are evaluating that they do like a lot, and I do think there's mutual interest. But I'm kind of going to wait to see once visits are set up. Then I'll start catching in and catching everyone up on that stuff. But I think overall, both of those positions, defensive tackle, linebacker, I think likely you see them go to the portal.